off just for you. You know why? I'll tell you why. I don't need to be putting on a show for nobody. What we're going to talk today is litterbox mentality. Now, any of you guys who are cat people probably understand what a litter box is. I like cats. I do. I love cats, man. Any animal that's affectionate when it feels like, it's about right, right? All right, so here we go, kids. I'm going to put the glasses on because we got to go outside. I hope we don't lose signal out here, you guys. All right, so litter box mentality. I'm going to tell you what a litter box mentality is. Okay, a litter box mentality is where you're digging into the history and the past of another person in order to dig up shit. Dig up shit about people. But how can you be bothered when you hear that beautiful sound coming down your street? Hey, look, there's one of my camera setups. You hear that sound, you're like tamales, your stomach kind of goes, oh man, I would like a chicken tamale, please, with green sauce. Tamales. Tamales. So I'm going to talk to you guys about dog shit and cat shit. Cat shit represents the person's past. The stupid shit, fuck shit they've done. Because by now, I mean, if you're a grown man by now and you're still doing fuck shit and dumb shit, you know what I mean? Or try to break the law or whatever. That just don't make any sense to anybody. I mean, it probably does to you. But that makes no sense to a player. A dude who's got his shit together. A dude who's got his shit together really doesn't have shit to defend himself by. You don't have to defend yourself if you don't do anything that's making you feel dishonorable. How you like that? As long as you're not doing anything that you would feel would show you in a bad light, then you don't have anything to worry about. And as much as I used to hate listening to Farrakhan, he turned out to be right. Isn't that weird? I always thought Louis Farrakhan was just a racist guy. He was really just, you know what I mean? I don't know anything about his belief system, so I have nothing to say about it. But I did back then. You know what I'm saying? We're all trained to dislike what we don't know. Remember that episode I did in Colombia? And it was always saying that people hate and dislike what they don't know, and they're going to talk shit about what they don't know. Because that's how human beings act. Human beings are fucking terrible. But do you blame them? Human beings are terrible, so we retaliate. Human beings' mothers and fathers in the years of the 1970s and 80s were also deplorable pieces of shit. Think about the 1970s. There was an uptick in free love. Abortion was legalized. And we were getting into the disco era, which led us into the cocaine era, which led the bad people to put drugs into the black community, put cocaine into the white community, introduce rap music and gangster rap in order to amplify prison population for privatized prisons. So they did a great job of doing that. And as you can see, all these cycles of money. All these cycles of money, people losing money, and then another fucking catastrophe. Y'all know what we're playing with here? Do y'all have any idea? Do y'all have any idea what we're talking about? Hell, this isn't even something. You know what? The Uno-card reversal has already happened. Polarity, the whole Earth has shifted. Like within the last month. The whole core of the Earth has stopped spinning one direction. Like now, of all years, is the Earth, the core of the Earth has stopped spinning in this one direction. Wouldn't it make sense to you that if it stopped spinning that way and it started polarizing going the other way, that the whole world would be like a big bathtub and you're just shoving water from one side to another? Wouldn't that make sense? And then, well, anyway. Guys, oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you something. You were asking me about my voice, why it's changed. Well, I told you I crashed that. I was on a jump. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was on a jump. I jumped a ramp. I got some air on this fucking ramp. And when I came down, okay, the torques came down and bottomed down in the fucking street. And I ate it. Face first, boom, right in the fucking face. So I busted my lip, my nose, and my teeth. I hit my teeth so hard that my front tooth is loose. So it's affected my speech, so I sound a little española. Por supuesto. So as you can see, I got to go get my teeth done because I'm fortunate enough to not have my teeth knocked out. So I want to look good for the rest of my days, you guys. So I have a big smile on my face, get my hair fixed. Look, check it out. My hair grew back. Astonishing. Grew back, you guys. I have hair on my head. I could change this whole subject right now to change it to hair loss. And I'd probably get a bazillion subscribers. I probably could. But watch me, guys. All I want you to do is come down, get a haircut. Get a haircut. So let's talk about this. I gotta tell you guys something. This shit is important. But give me 1 second to find my shit. So the two things that affect men the most is sex and money. And if you are able to not be affected by those two things, you are very much living a stoic life. I got to go ahead and talk into this and lean into this. If you're very easily manipulated by a woman or by sex, used against you as a weapon or as a manipulation device to get you to do something that you don't really want to fucking do, then remember that there are other people in this world like myself that cannot be manipulated by sex or by money. One of the things that was always brought up, see, when somebody doesn't agree with you, they threaten you. Like to the point where they threaten you. And I've been through all that, and I just tell people I'm not playing your game. I am not going to play your fucking game. I'm not in your game. I'm not part of your game. I want to treat people who are trying to put me in a bad light as if, and trying to suck me into their bullshit. I'm not playing your game. I'm not in your game. I'm not on Xbox playing Halo with you online. I'm not playing with you. Take your ass somewhere else. And that is how you avoid being involved in somebody else's fight, somebody else's shitty opinion about whatever. So how do you avoid not being manipulated by money? Everybody needs money. But if you're in love with money, you see, it's not money that's the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. And how do you love money? Possessing, if you find that you're unhappy without certain possessions, like you could be without a cell phone for the rest of your life and never have to pick one up again. But you're going to go through a withdrawal period when you don't have your cell phone with you. And you know what's happening is everybody knows this already, so it's not like a conspiracy, but every single time that phone goes off, like Pablo's dog, you come running. Here, let me make that sweet sound for you. Oh, I can't do that. See that, guys? I want to show you these coffee cups. If you didn't see these the other day, these came from the Tengies, which is the market. And it's a whole set and it has these cool crowns on it. Looks like it came from an old casino. Can you imagine all the grandmas at the casino playing slot machines? Playing the slot machines and another cup of coffee. Playing the old school slot machines. Young man, give me another free coffee, please. You guys remember those days? Now, if you do not, it's not Sunday, so I'm not going to tell any truth today at all. Every single word's going to be a fabricated lie, or it's part of a script. Sunday is True Story Sunday. So if there's any lies to be told, it's going to be told today on today's podcast. Okay? And I love to tell, this is all it is, you guys. It's just storytelling. So if any of this offends you, remember that it is all storytelling. Everybody tells stories on YouTube. But it's how you word it that helps a person sort of paint a picture in their mind of how that story looked and how that story went. If I was to write these stories down, it would be a script at that point. And I hope someone's taking notes, because we've all done some dumb shit. We've all done some fuck shit. But if you're 40, 50 years old, you're not doing dumb shit anymore. You're not doing fuck shit anymore. Things should not be easy to manipulate you with. Yeah, if someone's holding their paycheck over your head and they're trying to manipulate you because they have power over you. And people who have pensions understand that perfectly, because they could take your pension away at any time. All they'd need is, a government shutdown or something, and they say, oh, by the way, we can't pay you guys. Or the company goes belly up, or the investors of that company that hold those pensions goes belly up. You know what's next. Silicon Valley Bank just went out of business. Okay, that is a chain. This is a chain reaction, you guys. Over here, not a big deal. Overseas, not a big deal. If you guys want and you need a bank, you can open a bank account down here in Mexico. And you get actually better rates here if you have a savings account in Mexico. So if you feel like you can be easily manipulated by money, meaning someone taking your money away, or someone dangling a carrot over you, and those things are how men can be manipulated by money. Another thing too is when you have rich friends. I have lots of rich friends. And this is some bullshit. I want to talk about this, because the women who complain about passport bros saying that we're broke or dusty when we come down here because life is cheaper doesn't understand you need lots of fucking money to fly down here, first of all. You need lots of fucking money to get a house. You hear that? That's a dude with a flute. He's sharpening knives. So yeah, if you're a knife sharpener and you come down here, you can go right to work. So yeah, manipulation by money. Okay, if money is your whole motivation in life, Think about the Ford Motor Company. Okay, Ford Motor Company had an engineer that went to Henry Ford, and Henry Ford was like, you know what? I enjoy your professional view on things. What is your focus in life? He said, I want to be one of the richest men in America. So the next day, Henry Ford came to his office and gave him a gift, and he opened it up, and it's a pair of bifocals, and he had a pair of silver dollars in the lenses, and he says, put them on, and he puts them on, and he says, what do you see? He goes, I don't see anything. And he says, then maybe you should change your focus in life, because if you think about it, you have silver dollars in the lenses of your things that you need for your vision. And if your vision is only money, then you're so easy to manipulate. If you're a woman and all you do is lead with your pussy, then that's all I'm going to want from you is pussy. So if you're a man and you lead with your money, then all they're going to want from you is money. So therefore, you are very easily manipulated by and the use of your available money to a person who's going to manipulate you. Oh, I lost you. I'm so sorry. So that's how one being manipulated by money, which is the love of money, envy of other people, not what they have, but what their thing that they have benefits them. And that's what envious people do when they steal from other people. You see, you cannot minimize another man's real history or real life. You know what I mean? No one can take that away from you. The reason why I love to bring up the DD-214 thing is because it tells a story. It tells a story of your military history from start to finish. There is no way around it. You have all your info on there. That is not just your next of kin, your date of birth, your service date, all of your medals, and all of the campaigns that you've been in, which is always good to have as a reference, as a backup, when anybody calls into question your fucking military history, ever, okay? Now, the reason why I bring that up is because my own son, who, as you know, was alienated from me for 22 years, and recently, as of about a month ago, finally responded to one of the messages that I sent out through the Kaiserslautern military community post boards all over Facebook. And what do you know? This kid contacted me. So I got his phone number. We're chatting it up on WhatsApp. Things to be going well. He didn't know. But this is the thing that upsets me about it. And he's like, that you're not even a real veteran. And I'm like, what are you talking about now? You see, he had a long list of things. He had a long list of things. Long list of things that his mother told him about me. That his mother told him about me. And I know that's what exes do. I mean, think about it. That person hurts you. So hurt people hurt people. This kid's big enough to go, where's my dad at? Why is he not here? Why is he not around? Do you have any real reason why my dad's not around? Do you have any? So she tells the kid that I was a paranoid schizophrenic. And I'm watching a video this morning on Joe Rogan, I believe. And one of his guests was talking about one of his brothers had paranoid schizophrenia. And he said that at nighttime, the doctors come in and they put liquid acid in his ears. And they knock him out and do tests on him. And they take samples from him. And then after they leave, the love of his life comes in, but he can't communicate with them. So he has to write letters and stuff on the wall in order to communicate with the love of his life. So that is a person who has fucking schizophrenia. A paranoid schizophrenic lives in another world like you and I would never dream of. So, and I might have the crazy glasses, but that's just to give you guys an idea of what it's like, of what blindness looks like. Blindness from money. Now remember something, guys. My baby mama stole my passport, which I believe is a federal offense. She stole my passport. She went to my bank account and stole the money out of my account until I had no more money in that bitch. Trying to keep me from leaving after she made it very clear that we were no more. Knowing that I was running through fucking women like crazy and that I was a womanizer. And you expected me to be anything different. And then get mad after the fact that, you know, I get busted, run around whoring and shit. The fuck do you expect? And then this is the thing, is that most of the guys at the end of the relationship are dealing with a psychotic woman that's screaming and belittling and everything else. And no man wants to put up with that shit. No man with set of cojones is gonna fucking deal with that. And I learned to say no at that point, but she didn't want to hear that shit. And it's funny because the conversations I have with my boy now is that anything that I disagree with him, I'm lying. You know what I mean? And I made a commitment to myself and to this kid that I would absolutely not tell one falsehood, one lie, one time. He asked me a straight question, boom, I'm going to give you a straight answer. But he didn't want to hear that. And then when he told me about this, and he told me about that, well, that's probably true. Then he'd say, calling me a fraud. And I'm like, oh, okay. What are we talking about now? And then, so what? Well, do you really want to hear this? Because now it's come. Now it's come time. Because basically everything on that list of things that you said that your mother said about me is actually every single thing that your mother has done and was actively involved in. She was, 30 years old? I was in my 20s. She was involved. She asked me to help her locate her ex-husband in the United States, like a simp. Like a simp, because I was what, guys? I was simping, so I was easily manipulated by sex. She wanted to get child support out of this guy because of a kid who, by the way, was just turning like 2 years old when I met her. I was just the perfect candidate to fucking play stepdaddy for her. Right? There's honor number 2, reason why not to fucking hang out. So there's your number 2 reason to not stick the fuck around with all your dear mama. Jesus Christ. As if, you know what I mean? It's like a glutton for, only a person who's a glutton for punishment would stick around inside a house, a woman who's silent treating you or belittling. It's abuse, no matter what way. Oh, be a man about shit. Fuck you. Abuse is abuse. Period. I don't give a shit what you say about it. Abuse is abuse. And a man is abused more than women are because they hit first, and typically they call the police when the man hits back. Now, I'm not saying that any of you guys need to hit anybody. That just shows you got low energy. You don't have any interpersonal skills, no communication abilities, no conflict resolution abilities. Sad. And when things don't go your way, you run away. Oh, yeah, we. And then when the conversation does not go your way, you run away. And I'm talking about men, too. Motherfuckers hiding from their friends because they don't want to be told the truth. Now, I'm told the truth quite regularly, especially when I say to people, I do not want to lie to you. I don't want to lie to you. Especially, I don't have a reason to lie to anybody about it. See, I admitted to all my errors. So I can't be manipulated by sex. Now, the other thing is money. If you can't be manipulated by money, see, what did she do? She took away my access to resources. And she took my passport. So those 2 things. If she took your resources and she took your passport, hey, my brother, let's talk about TV. Okay. Okay, L in the house. Thank you, guys. I don't have fancy sound effects like you guys. But anyway, what we were talking about is how easily men are manipulated by sex and by money. If you can eliminate those 2 aspects and go in deep into your own psyche and say, this person is manipulating me with sex. The trick is to say no. That is the trick, just to learn to say no. When that person reacts in a manner that you know for a fact is the real them, that comes out when you say no to them. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Am I wrong? Because when you say no to somebody, that real person comes out. So that's how you know if you're being manipulated with sex or by money. Because sex is a hard one. Because a bitch could say, fucking, I'm not going to have sex with you. She'd be like, fine. Because she could go get dug out by anybody in the next 5 fucking minutes. And it's another thing if you catch your bitch cheating. Can you forgive a bitch if you catch her? So if this is true, and you want to say, I'm not a simp, I'm not going to, what in the fuck? There's a good possibility that a lot of you guys have been cheated on. And you don't even know it because they're so aware. Talk to me, guys. How many girls are going to tell you, don't you know who I am? If they make these excuses, don't you know who I am? You should know me better than that. I'm a certain age, so I don't cheat. Bullshit, motherfucker. The older they are, the more they cheat. As a matter of fact, statistically, they say that women in their 60s, these are your mamas, dudes, are the most promiscuous of all. I want to show you this coffee cup one more time. It's very blurry, I know, but look at that. Fine work from the 1970s casino hospitality business. This is a very thick glass. It has, I don't know, maybe it's got some markings on it. I could look these up. Yeah, it's got some etching on the bottom. Like a good glass company should. So I don't know what it says, but I think that's cool. You know, and for those of you guys who don't know, the professor collects old plates and cups. So if you can get me something from eBay from the 1950s Americana, bro, that's money. And then, of course, the Lagoli knives and Lagoli forks, knives, and spoons. I always still got to finish that story because we got caught off the last time. So anyway, those are two things that, can I be manipulated by money if something is cheap? Like they always say that cheap, I'm going to say it in Spanish because the people in Latin America say barato sale caro, which means cheap eventually becomes expensive. Barato, cheap, sale, goes out, caro, expensive. So you guys have a new phrase, barato sale caro. So when you buy cheap and it falls apart, it's your own fucking fault. I bought backpacks that never lasted more than a day. The whole seams came off. The whole backpack assembly ripped. Even the snaps like fell out. It was pathetic. It fell apart in a million pieces. Anyway, so can I be manipulated by money? If somebody comes in, kicks a door in, says, shut down your YouTube channel, here's $10 million, shut the fuck up. Can I be manipulated by money? Yeah. You can be bought. That means you can be bought. It means everybody has a price. And if the thing about it is, it's not that the price is too high. The problem is the price is too fucking low. And a lot of you motherfuckers accept the lowest bidder to take care of you. Now, I want to give you guys a little insight. You guys know I lost my hearing. And it's not been, it wasn't like one day it stopped. But I could detect it immediately in my voice. Because I sing, you know what I mean? And lots of bands like to sing and play with me and shit. And so I was listening to my recordings and I was like, damn, I am way off. It's like I'm tone deaf. Turns out that tinnitus in my ear just got worse and worse and worse to the point where if somebody talks too fast or if there's too many different sounds going on in the room, I can't hear anything. I lose all hearing in my ears completely. Then someone said that if I took microdoses of psilocybin, I'd get my hearing back, which it gave me like some relief from the frequency. All went down for a little bit, but then it just came right back. So I came back, yeah, and then I lost it again. So that sucked. Love is a wonderful thing, and it makes you feel a certain way. And I know some of you guys are really bothered a lot by jealousy. Jealousy is a horrible human emotion, and I really wish it didn't exist because it's happened to me more than anybody, and I've been the one who's been the notorious cheater in the past, if you guys remember that. So being the cheater was always something juggling girls and relationships up in the air. You know what I mean? And just being the lowest of human beings that we can be. So as you can see, now I was manipulating with sex. Now the money thing never was a thing for me. Even though that girl stole all my money and like gave me no ability to get on a plane and go somewhere because she had my passport. I didn't even have, which at the time was probably about 10 marks to get a replacement photo. That's so you guys know what year it was, because we were still using the German marks. So you look at your birthday and you think about the day we were still using German marks before the euro took over, then you'll know when the fuck I left. Because I had to get a new passport. Thank you very much. I got a new passport, expedited to me. I flew to Spain and just fucking vanished. And what do you know? I got on my feet again. And they couldn't stop me. So if their plan was to kill me while I was in Germany, well, you should have tried harder. And if your job was to alienate me for 22 years against my kid, you should have tried harder, unless you killed that damn kid. Because it would make sense to me, because she couldn't manipulate him enough. She couldn't emasculate him enough. Now you talk to him, you think you're talking to a little girl, and he's a 22-year-old man because he's weak, because he grew up with his mother without his fucking father. And I'm the asshole. God fucking bless you. Problem is that women that like that are so miserable. Dude, I feel so bad for that kid. I told him, I said, I would never let you go, but he drove me the fuck out. He did not want to talk. He just wanted to be combative. Just wanted to be combative. So I am not, and this is the thing, he's always talking about things that I'd done before he was even born, and as if I still live that way. And the thing is that this is my anniversary month. I have been sober for 21 years this month. Not a drop of alcohol has touched my lips for 21 fucking years. So what does that tell you? If I've been sober for 21 years, that means for one entire year after my son was born, while I was in fucking lockdown in a men's facility for alcoholism, running around breaking people, breaking into stuff, breaking people's heads open, drunk, fighting in public, being a complete piece of shit. So you could see, guys, I had quite a bit of things to resolve in my life. And he was probably right if he had told me those things 20-something fucking years ago. But that doesn't apply to me, because I've already been through plenty of AA meetings at 7 a.m. in the morning. Going to all my men's meetings. I never missed a day of AA. I went to parenting classes. Then I went on to learn about trauma. Then I went to learn about traumatized kids. Then I went on to learn about alienated fathers. Then I went and learned about child neglect. And I learned that child support is a system run by communists. Child support is a fucking system that's designed to destroy men and fathers, to create criminals, to perpetuate more and more criminals so that they would fill those private for-profit prisons that billionaires owned. And all they had to do is change the frequency of the fucking music, introduce tons of drugs to the fucking neighborhood, make the rich very much, very much richer, and the poor very much, much, much poorer. And it worked like a charm. Why? Because poor people don't call the police. If they know they're being wronged, they don't call the police. They just hold resentment. Rich people are welcomed and are enjoyed by the people, the capitalists. I'm not saying capitalism is wrong. I don't care. I'm just letting you guys know that we've all been hoodwinked. We've all been tricked. We've been sucked into a materialistic fucking society that makes us worship people for their pussy and for their provision. And if you can be manipulated by sex or by money, then you are once one of the very, very most common. And those are the two things you need to work on. Because the only thing that really pisses a dude off is when you mess with his woman or his fucking money. And brother, you know you fucked with both. I'm the professor. You're going to get a busted fucking eye when I see you. And I'm out.